Lovers. How are you, lovers? This is Ty Hampton of For the Lovers Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another episode here on Women Working Wednesday. Be sure to follow me on social media platforms such as Instagram at Ty Hampton, at Ty the Bartender, and at _forthelovers.com_. For anyone listening in and want to share the opportunity to listen to the podcast with their lovers, we are now also on YouTube. So to go ahead and just put in your search bar Ty Hampton on the internet, the World Wide Web, and I'll be there coming up with all podcast episodes dating back to season 1. So lovers, it is a new year. This is the second episode to the new year, season 4, I Want More. Jamaica Part 2 will be out next week. However, I wanted to just catch up with the lovers one-on-one. I miss you, lovers. How are you? You know, I've been really, really low-key. I finally actually saw an old friend recently, and we went to a quick brunch, and it made me realize that I have not seen a lot of people. Of course, we're in a pandemic and it's COVID, so I'm definitely minding my business. But just because I have to manage my business. I don't think people understand the context it takes to actually mind your business. When you're working on several things, by yourself or with a small team, you really have to be tunnel vision and really focus. People that's there is going to be there. The few select that can move forward with you during this process, keep them real close and near. But I don't have time to be managing my men. I really do not. And, to all the lovers that's tuning in and listening, thank you again for always supporting the lover. Make sure you turn your notifications on. And we drop every Wednesday at noon. But lovers, if you really love me, the lover herself, the inner you will let me be. And I say that because right now it's a new year. So, we Americans always love that refresh, restart. But how many people actually keep up to their new routines? It takes a lot to get into a momentum and a flow of things. I began doing 200 jumping jacks every other day. I've always been a workout mommy. We have our on and off seasons. And last year, 2020, my on season was definitely during COVID, of course, when we got shut down. So you say March through, May, at least I was working out every single day. And I was ready for my first trip during the pandemic to Vegas. And I looked great. So I had to keep up with that momentum, So right now we are back. We're doing 200 jumping jacks a day, 4 sets of 50. And it takes less than 5 minutes to complete. And I got a full body cardio workout. The kind of lover that I am, when I wake up, I like to get into it. And my body's been sleeping. It's been resting for 8 hours. So it's ready. It's like a battery recharge. You're ready to go. But lovers, how are you? What are some of the New Year's resolutions that you've made thus far? I've been very active on social media. So again, lovers, tune into me at Ty Hampton. That is my main page where I post questions and I'm very interactive with all the lovers. Mostly, of course, about relationships. Because what else would we be if we weren't relating to one another on the same ship? Lovers, I love relationships, okay? Even though I am a single woman, I still love relating to my lovers, I'm sure one day soon I might be off the market, but I'm really, my energy, my anticipation, the manifestation is not there. It's really on my business and career because I know that with the strides that I'm going to make there will come everything else. So as we record from Thailand, I look over the East River and I just thank God for this lovely couch that I have. A lot of things happen on this couch. A lot of activities are born. A lot of energy is transferred. A lot of ideas are birthed. And I love my baby couch. I got her on Valentine's Day. So I think that's why there's so much love that comes within this couch. And it brings me to what today is as well, Martin Luther King Day. And for me, I'm always very sentimental when it comes to Black history because Black history is something that's embedded in me as a Black woman. You understand? However, I am determined to break those barriers. I am. I appreciate where I'm at in my life, who's in my life. However, I always notice that everyone has their own guilty pleasures, you know? Um, Even Martin Luther King Jr. did as well. You know, today is really crazy in the media. When we came back to the United States, when we entered back the United States last week from Jamaica, you know, it was absolutely absurd to see the U.S. Capitol being ran down. You know, time and time after again, I just am embarrassed for the United States of America. As a Black American that I am, I appreciate my roots and where I'm from, of course. However, those white trash men running up in the Capitol, it just shows really where we are as a nation and how much further we still have to go. I continue on to move forward and to strive, and I think about Jamaica, how we really spent the new year there. It was important. It was an example of where, you know, we are relationship wise, because remember, lovers, everything is relating to the same ship. You want to sail to your destination together, you must relate. It doesn't matter if it's love, business, friends, family. Communication is key, and we need to be able to relate that. And I understand when I say this and then I go into the real world, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have said that. One thing that Jamaica taught me was just how calm life can really be. There's going to be issues and situations, and you should always express yourself when you're not being satisfied as a lover. However, we also have to take responsibility into putting ourselves in situations that we know the outcome. We know the result. Jamaica was one of the first countries I've been to that's all Black, meaning you on the beach, you have the panhandlers and they're Black. Everyone's Black. I'm going to a Black country. And for me, that's profound. It's even more profound because in October, when I got my DNA test back, according to 23andme.com, I have ancestry roots from Jamaica, Portland Parish. And of course, when I was in Jamaica, you know, everyone thought that I was Jamaican anyway. Like, they literally was like, "Oh, you're Jamaican?" Like, it was just an automatic, like, they knew I was a Yardie, period. It was no, "Oh, your family's from Portland." I'm just like, how do you know that? I didn't, like, it was just crazy. I mean, once I did tell people that afterwards, like, well, you know, I just did a DNA test and it said I'm from Portland. They was like, "Oh, we could see it." Come on now, I'm Black. Of course you could see it. Like, you know. But lovers, it's just important to know your roots, and part of growing up and knowing who you are, creating generational wealth. People think that it's just creating a business and then you're creating wealth. It's so much more. There's a process for different countries on what you need to do in order to travel to these out of the country. Certain countries are allowing Americans to come in, and America is allowing you to travel to certain countries. Of a foundation that needs to be built in order for you to be successful. My success is important because it's really going to be the legacy that I leave behind for my children. You understand? I am 30, single, no kids, living life to the fullest through a pandemic. Why on earth would I not be great? How can I limit myself? Come on now, lovers. You know what it is. Shout out to all the lovers that came out to Watermark Bar and continue to sell us out weekend and weekdays until March, until we can. On New Year's Eve, it was very Pacific. It was a Thursday, and it was lovely. You know, we worked our asses off. We had 3 bartenders. It was cold, but we rocked out. This was the first New Year's, obviously, during a pandemic. So it's interesting for us on closing at a hard 10 p.m. in New York City because that's when all dining is closed. So you have 2 hours now until we bring in the new year. And for me, I see my trend is going to be bringing it in on a calm activity. I came home. I was a little bit smizzed, but I came home. I smoked a little bit. I took a bath. I had my champagne. And I spoke to my mom, and I felt amazing. You know, I minded my business completely. I mean, of course, I was going to be in Jamaica in a few hours, so why need to turn up at this moment? In order to travel to Jamaica right now, there are certain requirements you must have. Of course, you must have your PCR COVID test at least 10 days before you travel out of the country. And you also need to have your travel advisory form completely filled out upon arrival at the airport. We flew out of Newark International Airport, which was nothing for us, of course, because, coming from Staten Island is about a 15-minute drive. I mean, even living in Midtown New York, I'm close to every single airport. I actually love my location in Midtown because I'm by the tunnels, I'm by the heliports, I'm by the boats, the highway, JFK, LGA, name it, I'm ready to go. And I always felt very intentional about being prepared to escape because I just don't trust this country. And I don't trust nothing on how things have been going. So I always want to have an escape goal. It's literally my mindset. I always want to live on the water, always on the coast to be out. I don't like living too much inland. It takes too much long to leave unless I have a helicopter. As we aboard the flight, we flew on New Year's Day, and it was so magical. I worked New Year's Eve, and it was busy. We were selling tables for $1,500 for a table of 2. One of the most beautiful scenes I can remember was traveling to Newark Airport about like 7 a.m. in the morning. As the sun was rising, traveling from Midtown to Newark, it was just so nostalgic for me to have that freedom of traveling. When we had a travel ban, maybe you're not traveling every day, every month, every week, but just knowing there's a ban, just knowing that you can't travel for whatever circumstance, I understand. It makes you feel very trapped. You want to always be able to get up and go as you come and go. Arriving at the airport was lovely. We arrived early. We all sat together. We traveled with 4 people, and 1 girl met us in Jamaica. I mean, imagine that. Imagine leaving 30-degree weather to arrive later that afternoon on the first day of the year with sunshine welcome you in. As soon as we got off the airport, lovers, it smelled just like cocoa bread and beef patties. And I asked them, I said, why did y'all do this to me? Why does the air smell so good? Like I'm home. It felt like I was home. That's exactly how I felt, lovers. I felt like I was home. I appreciate the Jamaican staff in the airport as well because they were very, very on it for us in sanitation. I felt comfortable traveling there. Unlike the U.S., they're in bodysuits, they're in shields, they're sanitizers. People, you can't even film in their airports because everything has to be COVID free. They're not playing that. They also are doing rapid testing at the airports. But because we had a negative test result, we were good to go. We came in smooth. We had our driver pick us up, drive 2 hours out from Montego Bay to Negril, and we enjoyed the countryside driving through a most beautiful island country. Imagine on the first day of the year. I was in complete awe until we reached our resort. And upon arrival, we were welcomed with rum punches, sanitizing stations, and temperature checks. And I must say, thank you so much to the Rio Resort for our welcoming stay to Jamaica 2021. The first day of the year in Jamaica, Negril, taught all of us a lesson. As we smoked the great ganja from the land of the mother, we realized what is it that hinders us from moving forward? What are our individual guilty pleasures that continue to just, take a bit of energy from us that we really don't need to be given to? For me, it's always going to be men. I am very disciplined in my lifestyle for as in what I consume in my body. But on this trip, I realized how much I attract a lot of men. We all we all have our things, but I know I attract a lot of men. I could step outside and there's men in my face all the time. I mean, just last week, once I came back from Jamaica, I had to fix my MacBook Pro and the motherboard crashed. Okay, no problem. Take it into the shop. I pick it up. The day I picked it up, I was very low key. I'm always low key when I step outside, I feel like, like I had my camera, so I was, taking my photos, and I was also going to pick up my laptop. And upon arrival, I was stopped by so much men, and it was very annoying because I have on a mask, I have on shades. What What? Like, it's just so, what are you attracted to? The tiny space between my chin and my neck? Come on, give me a break, man. I have a lot of discipline as well. Like, I'm not interested in meeting anyone new right now for us and like, on the street type of thing, unless I really see like, okay, you lit. I have so many things to work on. And in Jamaica, like, the whole resort knew my name because I was just like, oh, hi, I'm Ty. Oh, hi, I'm Ty. Because I'm just so nice, But the problem is, you will be harmed by your charm. And that is a real thing. Men and women both have a lot of charm, and depending on how you use it, it could be abused. People aren't used to people with charm. I'm a young woman that's beautiful, smart, all this stuff. So of course, oh, she has charm as well. She's not stuck up. Many girls are stuck up for a reason. They have to give attitude, especially Black, beautiful women, because someone's always trying to attack them and come in their face. And we deal with it all the time. So in Jamaica, sitting on the beach, we seen shooting stars, we seen constellations, and it just proved to us like there's a whole wide world out here. Don't be hung up on these little things in your little city, in your little town, little people. Explore. Don't be afraid to go outside of your bubble in order to be successful. You have to break down those barriers. But like I said, I don't like that men try to always just like abuse my niceness, and it's especially when I first meet someone, it's just like, bro, I'm just nice. Like, I work in hospitality. Like, this is how I am. I'm generally this way. I hate to be mean and stink, but obviously I'm gonna have to keep on putting that stink face on because I'm not interested. It's interesting because my lover once said to me recently, women are in a state where they're managing their old men. And I hate to admit that it's so true. Are we at the point, because of the pandemic, another year, restrictions within certain cities, certain towns, that we have to succumb to the people that's already existing in our lives and what to do with them, how to finagle their ways? I kind of don't like that because it seems like we're going back on things. Or maybe sometimes people change. Maybe there is a future in some areas with some people that can help us move forward. Maybe at the time you met this person, you wasn't ready for them, and now you are. I mean, me at 30, anyone that meets me now is or known me and wants to rekindle something and I'm allowing it is lucky because I really have matured so much more and I'm very vocal. The point about wanting more is being vocal, and that's what this whole season is about. Want more, expect more, open up those closed doors by being focused on why you deserve more. What are you putting in that you should be getting out? Everything is double, especially when you're dating a lover. So, lover, Jamaica in a wrap was just exactly what we needed in order to come back and take over our lives. Lovers, appreciate that you are here and not over there. Appreciate that you can even hear your fears. To wrap up this episode, this was to shine light on traveling, on Martin Luther King Day, and on relationships. Imagine having to start a day to celebrate your late husband's birthday, who gained civil rights for a nation under one God and for all, based on the color of his skin. That's the kind of wife that you need. That's the kind of wife and husband a relationship is supposed to be, continuing on his legacy after he is gone. And with their relationship is very interesting because obviously we know that Martin Luther King cheated on Coretta Scott King, and people love to put that out there like, oh, he wasn't a perfect man. No one walking this earth is perfect, and I do not accept anything less than that. However, the point is, what's stronger than a bond between two people that has created a union? While in Jamaica, I was able to bond with my friends and also, analyze and even them, not and even them too as a relationship, I adored because there was a lot of communication there. I'm not gonna like everything that you do. You're not gonna like everything that I do, but we need to talk about it. I don't want to wait. I don't want to talk about it next month. Talk about it now. Everything does not need to be an argument or discussion, but everything also needs to be discussed if you're not on the same page. In order to win, let's be on the same page. Let's have our pen putting the same ink down in order to win. A recently engaged couple. So it was me, my good friend Jaida, who was on season 2 and season 1, while her cousin joined us, Life with Liz on Instagram. You can follow her as she skates around town. And also Sarita and Charles. And Charles was our guest for the last episode, Opening Up Jamaica Part 1, because he had a lot to say. You know, being a man who is incarcerated, who's out, who's doing right, who is mature now, who's been in relationships, been married before, been divorced. You know, that's how life goes. And lovers, don't forget to follow me at Ty Hampton. Please send me an email, ty@forthelovers.com, as well, to keep up with all relationship topics. We're going in. We're really finding out what is breaking us up from within. Why are we afraid to love? The most easiest thing on our sleeves, to be open and vulnerable, to invite love in. We always push it back. Is it because we're not right within? Is it because we feel we're not capable, that love can actually win? I believe in love. I believe it's what keeps bringing us back to those same people that we want, that we fall off track with, and even that you may have to let go of. So lovers, if you are traveling, continue to wear your gloves, your sanitizer, your mask. It's very, very essential. There's only been 1,000 cases in Jamaica, and I do not want the outside world coming to the motherland and infecting its people. Do you know now, 3 weeks almost after our vacation in Jamaica, the resort we stayed on is actually closed? Yes. Our brethren has told us and updated us that it was closed. God wanted us to experience that paradise for a reason, and now it's closed. We had an entire resort to ourselves, of course. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner was all inclusive. I felt very safe there. I met so many good people, so many yardies, and we did so much. I conquered my fears of snorkeling, okay, of ATVing, of horseback riding in the ocean. These are things that I thought that were done for me because of my eye and me, having a fear of falling off. But no, lovers. If anything, I fell back in love with being my adventurous Thai self. So thank you, lovers, for tuning in to, another episode of For the Lovers Podcast, Season 4. I want more. Don't sell yourself short, lovers. Experience all the world has to offer you. Celebrate our Black historians like Martin Luther King Jr. and know really what his legacy stands for. Not a fucking sale. Okay? Stay protected. Follow me on the gram. And don't forget, lovers, be the inner you. Cheers. Until next time.